welcome back to the Glazov gang, our second segment. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. We are beginning this segment with some very nice compliments. The guests are begging me to talk about my book a little bit. Dwight, you begin first.
What am I going to say?
My new book is
I told you to
write High Noon for America.
Write down what you wanted me to say, and you didn't.
All right, give it to Rob. That failed. Rob, you want to say something nice? Okay, this isn't
Wait, no, wait.
It doesn't
point it at the camera, please.
And who ghost wrote the book with you? No. Listen. I think the title is great. High Noon for America, because I'll be honest, I've read the book because he hasn't given it to me either. But I like the. I know Jamie's philosophy, and I like the title, and I think it is like the Western thing. It's like we're coming to the big shootout, and we're not really prepared. And I know that's what Jamie's trying to say.
Thank you. And now Diane.
And whoever wrote the book before it.
I actually read it.
Thank you very much.
Because he gave you a copy.
No, I bought it. But
Thank you.
I've read all 3 books. In fact, the best one is United in Hate.
United in Hate is fabulous.
No
That's
wonder
why I'm
she's on the show.
Yeah.
Why didn't you give me that
This
book
is called.
to hold?
This is Ann Coulter said it's by Jamie the Magnificent. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I wish we could spend the whole program talking about my book.
Someday.
I appreciate it.
It is excellent.
But I think that, thank you, I think it is High Noon for America, and that's what we want to talk about in this second segment. However, as always, Mr. Nelson wants to interrupt me.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling you want to get back for a minute to
Just for a minute.
giving some advice
to the Romney campaign.
Go ahead.
You never know who's watching this, but I'll tell you guys something. I'm amazed they haven't done it yet. Obama keeps ramming on them about how he ran Bain Capital and, it was a disaster and whatever. Mm-hmm. And if I was Mitt Romney, I would say, you know what? When I took over companies that were failing, and I turned them around, and I had to make them work. Mm-hmm. I couldn't use the excuse, well, when I got the company, it was such a mess.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry I haven't fixed it in 4 years, but it was the people who owned it before really screwed it up. And I'm amazed he hasn't gone, that excuse doesn't work in the real world. Mm-hmm. If I failed to turn the company around, people would bump me off. You have to succeed and stop saying it's not your fault. It was such a big mess. That's my advice.
That's a great point.
Why isn't he doing that?
I don't know, because it's a perfect thing, and you can say, and that's what I do. I pick things that aren't working, and I fix them, and that's what I'll do with America.
Diane, why isn't Romney doing that in his campaign? He did well in the debate.
I don't know, but I think he's very effective. I don't think. You know what I think?
In the campaign, he's effective. Nobody has seen him say anything.
I think I agree with Ann Coulter that she said people will say, "Oh, he gave such a great speech. Why didn't he always do that?" She goes, "He's always doing that."
You're saying that the media is ignoring him.
I think the media ignores him.
That's
Plus, listen.
That's true. I mean, they do their best.
Yeah.
No, but I'll say this: they do their best, because I told you this, Jamie, the other day after the debate. When Obama didn't go on the attack, the first thing CNN did was they went and listed all the things that Obama should have said. He didn't attack him on this, and this, and this, and this. And I'm, what are you trying to do it for him now?
Okay, we need to let the wise man speak over there. Go ahead. No, Diane, go ahead.
Okay, let me speak. Let me speak now. Okay, I speak now. All right.
Listen, no, this is the thing about Romney. When you know you didn't build that speech, when he went off and said, you didn't build that. It was only when Romney used it against Obama that the media covered it. Because it was 5 or 6 days. It was being covered in the conservative press, the internet, but it was only when Romney took it to Obama that the media covered it. And this is a tactic. I know from listening to Karl Rove and others, we were not going to attack Obama because everybody likes Obama. And we don't want anybody who voted for him in the last election to feel guilty about having elected him. So we're not going to attack him. And it's a mistake. Because if you're telling the truth, what you said is the truth. It's the bloody truth.
And they're afraid to say it.
And there's nothing wrong with that. They've gone too far the other way. Too far the other way.
And you think they may be afraid to do that because that's the most effective thing to do, right? What you said earlier.
Well, yeah, and I think it ties into what you want to talk about with Libya, because it's amazing to me when Romney said 47%, and they had that little video clip, they couldn't stop. I swear to God, it was like for a week they kept talking about the 47%. Well, when he made the 47, well, that 47% mark's really hurting him. I'm like, because you guys are playing it 24/7. However, within the last week, it has come out that the administration knew that there was no protest and that this was a planned terrorist attack.
Okay,
and the media is covering it like, well, isn't that interesting? So did you know? Why aren't they literally going, no, we know you didn't. We know you knew the truth. It's not a question.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Rob. So let's get on to that, because I want to talk about Libya And again, Biden said that they didn't know, and apparently
he was supporting the administration's position. This whole stupidity, this lie, this cover-up, this film, and you have to sit back and say, I mean, it has now come out that the State Department. Now,
tell us about Holstrom. Tell us what.
Well, Nordstrom.
Oh, Nordstrom. Sorry.
But he said it. That's at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, the point is, the State Department has distanced itself from the Secretary of State. Because, you know, they paid $70,000 for a commercial in Pakistan.
No, $7 million.
$7 million?
$7 million.
Excuse me. $7 million for a commercial to say it was this bloody film. Everybody knows that this film is a pack of lies. It's a lie. Why was it so important to lie and to take and misdirect everybody away in such a clumsy way?
Well, just wait. The White House and the media are doing it together.
Yes, they're doing it, but there's a reason why.
Okay.
And I want to
get to Diane.
Nordstrom said at the end, the security officer for the State Department, his last statement at the hearing, at the end of 4 hours, he said that the most painful thing was when I was talking to people who were supposed to be helping me, I didn't get the sense that I was being helped. And then he said, and this was a real killer, he said, I feel like the Taliban is already in the building, meaning the State Department.
Let me use that as a hook here. So to get back earlier, what you were saying, and when that said, Diane, your reading of this, do you feel that the Obama administration in some ways has allowed the penetration?
Yes.
I mean, Frank Gaffney has written about this, etc., that the Muslim Brotherhood has infiltrated the administration, Huma Abedin, etc.
Yes.
Huma Abedin.
Abedin. Your views on this?
Exactly. I think that, I don't think that Obama's administration had Christopher Stevens murdered. I don't mean that. I just mean that Obama is a communist at heart. He is also he likes the Muslim faith. Okay. I think he's a Muslim myself. Okay. You see that his ring has "There's no God but Allah" on it. Okay, whatever.
What?
Yeah.
This was reported yesterday by WorldNet Daily.
Okay. So I really think, and so those Islamic terrorists and communists go hand in glove. Okay. And I think his czars in his administration, a lot of them are communists. We know that, right? Okay. And Valerie Jarrett, all these guys.
Well, Van Jones, self-consent.
Okay. And then Huma Abedin, we would go on about that, but she's connected with the Muslim Brotherhood. She's in the State Department. Okay. And everything this man does, Obama, is to facilitate Islamic terror, in my mind. Okay, like making us dependent on Islamic oil. He refuses to let us expand, our energy resources on purpose, I think. To keep us dependent on Islamic oil.
Okay, now Diane, so in terms of Libya, in terms of what Dwight is saying, then this explains why they're asking for help and the administration is not
ignoring it, because he's on the Islamic. He wants the same thing as a communist. He wants destruction of the West, and he wants bloodshed.
Okay. So
that's what I think.
Okay.
And I think.
I got it.
But just a minute.
You're done.
He let Mubarak. He forced Mubarak out to bring in Morsi, Muslim Brotherhood. Lara Logan. Yep. She's talking about how the administration is lying about the Taliban and all that. He's acting like they're weak, but that facilitates their terror.
Okay, thank you, Diane.
Okay?
And so you're also saying that all of this is connected to this tragedy and what we see happen in Libya, and now also
it's terrible.
why they're trying to.
He was begging for help.
Okay, Rob, go ahead.
I mean, and I don't want to.
You see it more out of naivete.
Yeah, well, not naivete, but again, I'm just going to say, I sit in the rooms with ultra liberals, and I hear them, and it rings the same way to me. The way they talk about Mitt Romney and Republicans, all Republicans want to do is destroy poor people and make sure rich people get richer, and they don't care about America. They only care to make sure they get more money and start wars to make money. It rings the same way to me. Neither side is trying to destroy America.
Okay.
Now, Obama. Now I can
Rob,
agree with you about Obama.
Let me ask you this.
So wait.
Why is Huma Abedin?
Wait. Let me.
Who has Muslim
I'm not
Brotherhood?
saying there aren't sympathetic people in the State Department.
But why are they
the State
there
Department's
without
always
clearance?
struggled. The State Department's always struggled with that. Here's what I want to say about.
But why are they there without
I don't have the answer to that, but I do not believe.
you should think about
no,
the
I
answer
am
to
thinking
that.
about it. But
Okay.
Jamie, if you could hear from outside your own political biases, the notion that Obama is secretly a Muslim, is secretly
I didn't
trying to
say he
disturb.
was
I don't think
secretly
he's
a
She said
Muslim.
that. Okay.
Just wait,
My
Rob.
argument would be,
Yeah.
here's to me a more plausible argument. Obama does care about America. We can agree that he's not doing things the right way. His vision for how America can get where it wants to go isn't the way many of us think it can get there, and it may have a social element.
Rob, I
But
understand,
the
yeah.
Libya thing, to me, is far simpler. They had a slip-up. The Libyan government said they needed protection. The consulate asked for more stuff. Bureaucratic They didn't get it. It didn't happen. A terrorist attack happens. Now, you're the President of the United States in an election year. You don't want to look like your perfect record on how you control terror was messed up with a sloppy thing that actually let an ambassador get killed. So what do you do?
Thank you,
You
Rob.
make up a
Some
protest.
Okay.
You grab some movie. You spend $7 million. You make a whole cover story hoping somehow that we won't find out the truth. To me, that's scarier.
Okay.
That's scarier
Okay.
that our government fabricated that and that the press is letting that kind of go.
Thank you, Rob. Now, all I would say is I understand your interpretation. Where I'm coming from, Rob, is not from bias. I care about the United States and I love the United States, and I know that an intelligent man that's leading the United States, that knows what happened when Khomeini came into power and replaced the Shah, that knows that if you pull the rug out from the feet of Mubarak, that an even worse devil and enemy will come in, and you still do that, then I'm going to question your motives about how much you love America.
Yeah, see, I believe that the reason that this has happened is because they are a few weeks back, Michelle Bachmann questioned Omar Abedin as being the chief advisor to the Secretary of State and her connection to the Muslim Brotherhood, and I mean it's as deep as it can be. Yes. And what she wanted was just an explanation as to what kind of advice perhaps is being given, and she was attacked as being a McCarthyist. Now I just have to go back to what you're saying. Unfortunately, history doesn't support you, because when Roosevelt had Harry Hopkins on one ear and Alger Hiss on the other, you could say, well, do you think they want to hurt America? They were both communist agents. Do you think they wanted to hurt America? Yes, they did. And what is the Muslim Brotherhood doing in the United States? Now, Morsi, the first thing he did was ask for the release of a mass murderer called Abdul Rahman, the blind sheikh. He was invited to the White House. That invitation was not rescinded. Why do you, this and of course Zawahiri's brother was there in the square when they were raising the al-qaeda flag on our embassy in Cairo, and pictures of the blind sheikh 10 feet high on lampposts.
Okay, one second. Thank you. We'll let you know.
This is a fear.
This is a fear.
I would simply say, and I'm not disputing your facts, I would simply say that I think, to me, Obama is more like a Chamberlain. Then he simply said it when he wanted to meet with the president of Iran when he was a candidate. It's like he somehow thinks if he can be a conciliator or whatever, somehow it'll be better than if I stand up and put up a cup.
$100 million passed between he and Bill Ayers.
Well, listen,
you don't have that kind of money passing. Teaching basically the communist position in education.
Right.
$100 million. That's a big fact.
Thank you, Dwight. And it's crystallized, Rob. Also, we understand your argument. You're also arguing these are just also. You're saying it's even worse that they're trying to distract the population.
It's stupid
by
no matter what.
Stuff. But Rob,
and blatantly lie to us.
Exactly.
Lie to
but I'm
us
just
about
saying,
what happened.
in terms of, let's forget about biases. I think Dwight also makes a big point. I mean, I spent my whole life studying this. The same argument again could be said. Do you think that Alger Hiss? Do you think Rosenbergs want to hurt America? They were at the right hand. They because of them, Eastern Europe was lost to Stalin. We know that the communists infiltrated America. By the way, more than McCarthy even thought they were. That's what the Venona transcripts have confirmed. So I don't think our fears are necessarily illegitimate. Diane, some thoughts to you before we go to our final comments.
Well, I just think the Islamic problem is huge in our nation. You look at Eric Allen Bell. You know about him, don't you? Okay.
He's a counter-jihadist who has gone into hiding because of, I mean, he's a very brave, when I say hiding, he's a very brave man, and he's out there telling the truth, but he's had some threats put on him, and a bounty, because there's Pakistani forces that have mistaken him for being the filmmaker of the innocence of Muslims.
Right, and it's all bogus, but I'm telling you, Obama is sympathetic to Islamic terrorism. He is. Because he is a communist and he has an affinity with them. And so he allows things to go on in the world.
Okay.
And it's not a bias. I'm just reading stuff. I read a lot of stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've understood our disagreement here, and Rob is arguing more that it's not so much a destructive impulse, but more naivete, and then a very clumsy, bad way of covering it up.
And maybe the only word I would say, not just naivete, because I don't make it sound like he's just a bumbling idiot, but that I think his fundamental philosophy, not that he wants to destroy America, his notion of how to deal with evil is what you, Jamie, often talk about, this relativism, and somehow instead of going, no, there are things that are absolute evil that need to be stood up to, and somehow, well, let's talk about it, let's have and maybe I can make you happy if I give you some things, and it's like, no, you like Chamberlain and Hitler, you give him some things, he's going to take over the rest of the world. And I think Obama doesn't get that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end. I need you to be prophets right now. What's going to happen in the debate over foreign policy between Obama and Romney, and then what will happen afterwards? Dwight?
I think it's going to be a remarkable debate. I really do. I think that Obama, because of what's happening in Benghazi right now, I don't think he's going to escape this one any better than he escaped the last one. Because as just looking from the outside in, I mean, everybody knows that the cover story, that this president went to the United Nations and used the film cover story, which was an absurdity. And there's so much there that Romney cannot step away from it. It's going to be very hard for the president to escape.
Thank you. We only have a minute left. Quickly, please, Rob.
I think that in general the president goes into these things having an advantage because you are the commander-in-chief and all that, and you can say, I've done this. Romney has the advantage you just said. I think if he goes after Obama on these things, which he will, he can point out all the areas where, whether it's Iran, Libya, where we're failing, and he's a smart man and he's a businessman, and even though he doesn't have that foreign policy experience, if he does it right, I think he can actually kind of say, I won't make those same mistakes and I think he could win on it. He's got to do that, though.
Diane, final
I think Romney
words
will be.
of wisdom.
I think Romney will be solid. I think he'll be great, and I think Obama does suffer from that leftist syndrome thing, where they cannot say something's right or wrong, good or bad, evil. They can't do it. I mean, they went berserk when Bush said, things are evil, right? And so I agree with you. He has that problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have to wrap up. I give you a command, nothing more. You say a name and you either say close or landslide in terms of who will win the election. You say a name and you either say close or landslide. Dwight?
Romney, close.
Split decision right now.
Diane?
Romney landslide.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining the Glazov gang, and the way we say good night this time is we all put our fists in and we all say, join us next week for the Glazov
But I'm
gang.
Yeah.